Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chat19, a podcasty-style thingamajig featuring the players you love from Nat19. Here we'll be delving into some of your most burning questions you've submitted using the questionnaire form in this video's description, as well as on our Twitch page. I am your host, Chase, also known as Coffin Jockey, and I am joined today by some lovely, lovely people. How about you guys introduce yourselves, as well as a little bit of info about you / your characters / things that you do, starting with Spencer.
Okay. Well, hello there. I'm Spencer. Go by Buddy sometimes. Heckin', I'm as you can probably surmise, I'm a player at Nat19. I work for Project Mouthwash as an editor, mainly. Hopefully soon to be back as a voice actor for them. I also do other projects for other channels and stuff, but yeah, that's the main thing I do. I play Logan in Nat19 on for Vestige. I'm also in a couple of other campaigns in Nat19, like Arden in DMS and Krusk in Princes of the Apocalypse.
Woo!
But, woo! I think that's everything, unless I'm missing something.
Now, why'd you have to go and make me sad by talking about wanting to be a voice actor in Project Mouthwash again? Why'd you have to go and remind me of the state of things?
Why did you remind me the world's on fire?
Spencer used guilt?
I'm very good at it.
It was unbelievably effective.
No absolute but. Well, now we move on to the person who was guilted by the Spencer attack, Logan.
Hello. I am Logan Laidlaw. I am the boy, as we established pre-stream. I am the buoy boy, aloft and drifting, guiding those upon the waters of time. The time buoy, the buoy boy. I am the dungeon master for Vestige and for DMS and for some other games, but they're not running currently. I'm also the creative director for Nat19, as well as the creative director for Project Mouthwash, scriptwriter, voice actor for Project Mouthwash, as well as voice actor for a bunch of other parodies and projects across the internet, some of which I can't talk about right now, but I will have a very different intro to this, I think, next time we get around to me being on the show. And I'm not normally in this! But I get to be! Once every 4 months, I get to be on Chat19!
Yay!
Heckin'! Oh, and I'm also Agisai in Princes, and I love Agisai, and Agisai makes me sad, and now I'm thinking about Agisai and Spencer not being here, and I'm double sad! And it's great!
Hooray!
Thanks!
You're welcome.
Is sadness related to Agi sadness? That's the first question of Chat19.
Okay, well.
Okay. So, we have a lot of questions that were submitted by all of the fans of Nat19. And sadly, I have had to cut out many of them for time.
Could I,
yes?
just really quick, I want to touch on the thing that we were talking about before we started. Whenever I'm on Chat19, everybody, just for the future, this is not for answering, this isn't for, DM advice and such. We are considering the idea of doing, a solo DM advice one, but whenever I'm on it, or we have, a DM-oriented one in the future, try to ask things about the world and the characters and such like that, as opposed to asking for advice running a game. Because they're good questions. It's just not this isn't the exact mode of transportation to deliver that.
This ain't the place for it at the moment.
We might make a place, but not for right now. It's not the place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, but yes, I had to unfortunately cut many questions for time. I believe this is the first episode ever that we've gotten into triple digits for questions. So
boy.
Thank you so much. I appreciate how excited all of you are.
You're
to ask
very
all these
welcome,
burning
Chase.
questions. Spencer, you never submit any questions ever, and I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling you out live because you gave me guff. Every month I ask you, hey Spencer, you got any questions for your friends? And you're like,
No.
I don't even do the polite thing and like just ignore you. I just say no, I don't.
Take the time to prove to me that you could have done it. And you choose violence instead. And I'm calling you out.
This took such a sudden turn.
I had a different first question locked and loaded, but instead I'm gonna move on to this
Question one, fuck you, Spencer.
Question one. Dear Vogan, why do you go off without your friends all the time? Because you crave death! Why? Why?
There are two answers to this question. One is the Vogan answer, one's mine. The Vogan answer is he thinks he can probably handle it. He doesn't want to bother any of his friends. So he just kind of is like, I can get this done by myself. It's fine. I won't bother them. The Spencer answer is it's fun. It's fun to go off by yourself and see what happens.
God.
It's just, yeah.
Fucking with the Spencer answer and the Vogan answer, I have a follow-up question of sorts to that, which is, dear Vogan, you gross bitch, how does it feel to be hogging all the levels to yourself, you EXP whore? How does it feel knowing you could probably 1v1 most of the highest standard while taking almost no damage by being like 3 levels above everyone else?
Listen, I'm not 3 levels above everyone. At this point, I'm like 2 levels above couple members, only 1 above like a couple others. But I didn't ask for that. I drew multiple cards from the deck of many things, and I got both of the level up cards.
Oh, you're so gross.
Listen, I wanted to draw 5 cards from the deck of many things.
Is that the same exact energy as the Spencer answer of it's fun?
Yeah! Exactly! I've never drawn from the deck of many things, so I wanted to draw as many as was,
Spencer,
I could rationalize.
Spencer, while this did work out very well for you, I'd like to give a small bit of advice, just personally. The deck of many things is not a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. You don't start by drawing 5 cards.
Well, I thought it was Yu-Gi-Oh, so I drew 5.
You fucking pulled the equivalent
and then I played Pot of Greed
at turn 1. You did the fucking deck of many things equivalent of turn 1 Exodia. You gross bitch.
I kind of did, yeah.
Just in case anybody is listening that hasn't heard it yet, what were the 5 cards that you drew, if you remember?
I got I don't remember what the names of the cards, but I remember what they did. I got one that gave me like 10,000 XP. The other one that gave like 100,000 XP or something, or what was it?
Sun gave 50,000 EXP in a Wondrous Item. We did cap how much experience you got, just in the interest of the fact that the deck was also slightly nerfed, so its overwhelming positive effects were also pulled back slightly.
Yeah.
But you got Star, you got what was it?
I got the one that gave me the long sword of eruption.
That was still what was that? Sorry, so you got Sun, which was the Wondrous Item, and the Wondrous Item was the book, I believe.
They gave me the book that boosts your strength. I got the Knight card, which is how I got Sunder.
You got Key, that's where you got the weapon.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And then
and then the 5th one was the one where I lost 4 points of intelligence.
Then I think didn't you also get which one was it?
2 XP. I think that was all of them, because I got 2 of the XP cards, the Knight card, and then the Key card, and then the last one was the points of intelligence one.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that.
The idiot. That one was the idiot card. You got the idiot.
That was the idiot card.
Yeah.
So
That was the only negative card you drew.
Yep.
I'm so fucking proud.
it didn't even bring me into the negative intelligence.
Looking at that shit with like, there are no repercussions for my actions.
Yep.
I'm immune to punishment, and the gods owe me money. God.
I remember I was talking to Izzy like a little while ago, and he told me just like, you are definitive proof that karma doesn't exist.
What do you mean, Vogan, the actual war criminal? Fucking getting 5 cards from a deck of many things didn't result in anything bad. Being an
Right.
absolute negation of the concept of karma. I don't know what you mean.
The universe decided to throw me a bone, I guess.
Apparently.
A couple of
Good.
bones.
Yeah. Goodness. Speaking of ridiculous shit, next question is for Logan.
Oh shit.
Did you have any expectations with the deck of many things? And if so, how close or far off were those expectations?
Okay, so if this was closer to the day, I would have had a better answer for it. So actually, I did have some expectations that got subverted somewhat in that, given who he is, I definitely expected Cody to be the one that would be like, oh shit, all of them! Like,
Yeah.
but he...
I totally expected that too.
But I intentionally put kind of an implied time limit on everybody, in that I started counting down at a certain point for people to be like, the chance is leaving. And they did that purposely to make it so people wouldn't overthink, so that they would act with some urgency, so people like Cody wouldn't be able to sit there and weigh the pros and cons. In his case, he did it, and then he was like, nope, I'm just gonna not, none. Again, beyond that, I purposely had no expectations kind of outside that. I kind of planned, if you can call it planning, around nobody taking any and things to just move on, in which I had some conditions where if everybody had done the same answer, like either way, either none or everybody had drawn some, there would have been like some experience that went out. If everybody had taken none, the whole party would have gotten some experience for it, just because it would have been a interesting beat to have them all join in the same mentality, but we didn't hit that. I did... every time I talk to people about this, they get really curious about it, but I had a full document that had every possible outcome for every possible card, including items, situations, different NPCs, depending on who drew the night card, and so on. Just so I wouldn't be caught off guard by anything that happened. Sunder was just one of the options, which is why I didn't immediately have Sunder art, because I wasn't willing to commit to getting 7 different NPCs art done when only one was going to show up. But, yeah, I had a lot of things that I planned to happen, but I expected none of them to happen, because I thought that would be the best way to go. The deck of many things is so thoroughly outside the control of both the DM and the players that I approached it as the spectacle of the situation is the event. The cards are kind of irrelevant, really, to me.
Other than, obviously, you took out some of the worst options as being options from the deck.
Yes, I lessened some of the major positive effects, and I took out some of the, you know, your soul gets trapped in pandemonium options, because I felt it just wasn't the right time in the campaign, and I didn't feel like it was in the spirit of what was happening, and there was still a lot of negative things in there for people to trip on, but the thing is I didn't tell anybody I did that, which was the point. The players still thought they were in there when they were drawing, which was really the fun of it.
But the thread of your soul being whisked away is still there somewhere.
Yeah.
For the player.
Yeah. The actual consequence is whatever. It could be fun. It could create story, but them fearing what's in the deck and the experience of drawing from the deck is the fun of the deck of many things. The outcome is almost always less interesting than the actual event of taking cards.
I was so ready for my last card to be the fucking soul whisk away one. Like, once I get all this cool stuff, like, all right, where's the beat drop? Like, fucking...
The level,
like, oh, and your character's
the
gone.
level 9 to 12 adventurers getting Vogan back, so by the time they get him, he'll
Yeah.
be properly leveled.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Additional question for Logan. Based off of the still on the deck of many things questions. This question is for Sunder, specifically.
Okay.
Dear Sunder, tell us about yourself. What are your hobbies, goals, and aspirations? What's your favorite meal? What's the biggest thing you've ever killed? Have you eaten a squirrel before? Did it taste nice? Do you have faith that Logan will complete his pilgrimage? What are your thoughts on the highest standard? I must know! Also, did you have Sunder planned, or was he on the fly sort of thing? And you answered the last part already.
The Sunder was definitely planned. To be totally straightforward about that, all the NPCs are ones that you might have bumped into along the course of, like, what I imagine our next adventures are going to be. Just moved around a little bit and made a little bit more directly obvious to, like, what's going on. Like, in this case, if you'd met Sunder out in the, like, eventually he wouldn't have been like, Vogan is interesting to me. He would have just had a general opinion. So I'm not gonna answer all those questions, because you're basically just asking why Sunder. But, to biggest thing he's ever killed? Probably that plesiosaur now, if I'm gonna be totally straight with you.
Hell yeah.
He's definitely eaten squirrels. He doesn't really care if it tastes good. All meat is good. He, as far as hobbies go, really just heckin' his runecraft stuff, and some stuff I won't necessarily get into because it might be more fun to stumble onto that in-game. He's a pretty bleak person overall, like he doesn't have a lot going on outwardly at the moment, because he's very awkward and doesn't want to put anything on anybody. As far as goals, he needs to get Vogan back and help him with his pilgrimage. His main goal is to complete that for his tribe, for reasons that we'll go into, but it's very important to his tribe that he does that, especially because it was mandated by Vestige that he do it. Vestige effectively contacted and gave a vision to both him and to his tribe's eldest, and instructed him to go seek him out. And this happened because of time shenanigans with the deck. This happened way before the card was ever drawn, but the card was definitely the reason why things were moved around in the past, as the deck of many things do.
Yep.
As it do, indeed.
Yeah.
That universe-shifting item.
You have faith that Vogan will complete his pilgrimage. Does Sunder have faith? He has to. He has to believe he will. And he has no reason so far to doubt Vogan. Thoughts on the highest
He saw him
standard?
take down that fucking snake lion thing.
Yep. He has no thoughts on the highest I know I said I wasn't going to answer all these questions, and I'm just going through them being like,
But you're going through them.
yeah, it's just fucking me. And as far as thoughts on the highest standard, Sunder hasn't actually been around them in any meaningful capacity. Even the few days he's been there, they've been out and about in the town, doing different things on their own, so really he's only bumped into, like, the people he's traveling with. He has the best opinion of, which is that they're adventurers. The highest standard isn't really a strong presence to him right now, as much as just the individual people that are in it. He likes Lyra. Everyone likes Lyra.
That's
Or
fair.
else.
It's a rule that every NPC has to like a Lyra.
That was why I added or else.
Or else.
I have yet another question for Logan.
Alright.
Dear Logan, as the weaver of this world, the almighty creator of the Eidolons, the grand storyteller and unyielding provoker of tears, you can be considered a god of gods of this world. Do you think that this means that you owe Logan money?
Well, I do pay Spencer every month. So...
But is Spencer truly Vogan?
in the same sense that the currency that I exchange with people, if I am to be considered a being, if I am the luminous being within Vestige, then surely the only currency I could give out would be beyond mortal comprehension. So me paying Spencer is, in a way, an exchange of celestial karma happening behind the scenes. He is receiving the grace of the luminous being.
But Logan, as we have discussed, as I mentioned before, karma does not exist.
In the real world.
Yeah.
Who knows what it is in Vestige?
Yeah.
Follow-up question. Dear Vogan, does Logan owe you money?
Oh shit!
Of course. Everybody owes Vogan money. Except for Lexi. Apparently, I owe Lexi money.
I believe
any higher being owes Vogan a various amount of coin. It varies from god to god, being to being, you know?
That makes sense. You know, some
The
people
universe is
rack up-
given Vogan
I think
enough.
Logan owes him the least.
The universe has
all the
given
cards he
Vogan
drew.
enough! He has enough! He needs no more!
But does Vogan agree with that?
Yeah, no. Vogan is very humble. Spencer's not.
Oh my god.
Additional question for Vogan.
Mhm.
Dear Vogan, how would you feel if Keen joined the highest standard?
How would Vogan feel about that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
That'd be interesting.
a tasty question.
Oh, yeah. What a... Spencer would love that. Oh, that'd be so juicy. Man. Well, first off, Vogan would have wondered, like, how the hell did that happen? It's so against his character. But if Keen got to a chill enough point where he wasn't trying to, you know, they weren't trying to kill each other on the spot, I feel like that'd be kind of that'd be a cool thing. Vogan would kind of would find that fun. I get, like, as a sort of, like, rivalry between the two. If they were both in the highest standard. But oh man, that's so, if he was as he is now, I don't think he would like it very much. What with him being, you know, public enemy number 1. It just come to him in the middle of the night. It's like, where's Elmira? Show me where Elmira is.
I just want to talk to her. I just want to talk. I just want to talk to her. I just want to talk to her. Taking out sword. I just want to talk
pulling
to
out
her.
a sword.
I just want to talk to her. I just want to kill her. I just want to talk to her.
Yeah. That would not be a good thing right now. He needs to chill the hell out before that happens.
It's got some emotional growth to get to.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he do.
That is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Next question, also for Vogan. Dear Vogan, your skill as a sword saint is increasing rapidly. Have you ever considered taking on a pupil of your own?
No.
Why not?
Vogan does not see himself as, like, a master type. He still thinks he's, you know, like, right now he's in the middle of his final test, like, before graduating from Elmira's teaching.
Wild to think that Vogan still looks at himself as, like, the equivalent of a white belt in karate.
Right?
I wish you could see the image I'm looking at on screen, just because, like, I have the stream up right now, is hilarious if you consider him being like, no, I'm still a student. 1 second. 1 second, boys.
Okay.
One
I'm a
moment.
little baby, says Vogan.
No, I'm still fresh.
I'm fresh from the womb.
Sitting there with his fucking mask made of a heckin' deific Bahir and his Skulldrake mantle, his lightsaber.
His muscles the size of people's heads. Like, nah, I can barely take on anything.
I have so much to learn.
I have to get stronger.
Yeah, he just, I think he, like Keen, he needs to work on himself more before he's ready to subject his teachings onto other people.
Oh. Vogan, what could I possibly teach anyone? Last name to be determined.
Yep.
What a
Pretty
boy.
much.
Next question is for Logan.
Haha.
Dear Logan, was Raleigh originally supposed to be one of the major causes of everything going wrong, or was he moved into that role?
So, perspective-wise, if you really look at it, he had his hands in a lot of things, but he was just kind of adjacent to a lot of things happening in the world. He didn't really cause them.
Get your hand out of those pies, Raleigh.
But
Get your hand out of those pies.
it's more accurate to say that this is obvious, and I'm splitting hairs here, but Izetsu is the one who did things. It wasn't Raleigh. That said, I don't change anything in my stories due to memes or people's like perceptions and fans and whatnot. Like everything was very much planned from the start. I have a pretty thorough breakdown of everyone's timeline beforehand. You can ask you can ask Brett and Carrie about that. I have down to the day timelines of most of their lives. Just because I wanted them to come in with a strong history to be able to fall back on, and I'm glad I did, because I think it lent a lot to the game. But, no, it was all planned from the start. Some things came out in ways I did not expect, in that involvement with Murkwire and him becoming an ally, revealed Izetsu's part in that a little bit more than I suppose I, expected to happen. But if I really intended to ever keep anything secret, I would never have put an Androsphinx in front of the party. I'm very about giving the players chances to just find things out. I don't consider secrets to be, like, sacred in Vestige. But yeah, Raleigh was absolutely always set to do all the things he did, and maybe more, who knows?
And maybe more.
Who else's dad did he kill?
Right? I guess that is a thing he ended up doing a lot of among the... I'm gonna be honest with you. For all the things Izetsu did, if I look at his timeline, it's the minority of things he did, but if you look at just the number of dad murders and such, I suppose it is a lot compared to the average person.
Yeah.
So... Fair.
Do you have any idea how little that shortens the list energy, indeed? Also, speaking of consequences for certain actions, dear spicy red baby, between Una, I believe Una, the rest of the Drows and Murkwire, there are a lot of people that want Raleigh dead. If Vogan knew the exact location of the Dampier, would he tell them?
Oh my goodness.
Didn't he already do that?
He didn't know the exact location. Like, he was very much like, he's heading to Grey Rock or something. Like, that was the energy.
Yeah, that's it. He kind of already did that in a way. Because, who was it that asked him? Was it Una?
I'm pretty sure when you guys were fighting, Una demanded that information of you, yeah?
Yeah, so... I mean, if he knew it, I don't think he'd care. He didn't like Raleigh that much. Like,
I do wonder if we're ever going to see Raleigh again, but that's a question for another Chat19.
Yeah.
Fucking, to be fair, if someone was just like, dear Logan, will we ever see Raleigh again? You'd be like, who could say?
Well, I mean, I'll be straight with you. I don't know. That's up to if the party goes looking for him, or if Izzy ever has an interest in pulling him back in. Because if Izzy doesn't want to play him, or wants to play Flux more, I'm not gonna force him to. He moved away because he thought there's good in-character reasons, and he wanted to play Flux, and he's a bit more comfortable playing Flux, given. I think Izzy likes being friendlier. In general. But beyond that, the party will probably bump into Raleigh again someday if they go seeking out some of the same things, but maybe they won't. I don't know. I don't have any control over that.
That's fair.
It's true.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Speaking of things that people don't have control of,
yeah.
dear Vogan, what expectations do you have for your pilgrimage? Will you fight ferocious monsters, have introspective epiphanies, beat up Keen Von Haku over and over again in increasingly cooler cinematic encounters, or some combination thereof?
What? Crazy. I mean, there's probably gonna be a lot of fights. We'll fight and slaughter various monsters along the way. Let's see. I mean, the whole pilgrimage is probably about, the whole point of it is to have introspective epiphanies. And if Keen Von Haku just decides to get in the way, yeah, I imagine it is going to be a really cool cinematic beatdown. But
fucking imagining you've just beaten the shit out of Keen, and he's like half on the ground. You're like, get the fuck back up. I want to make the next one look like an anime opening.
You stand there. I'm gonna do something cool.
It's like the first of the like original temples you get to. He's just standing there like in front of the gateway to the final chamber, just like, if you want in, you're going to have to get past me. Like the second one you get there, he's like camping, like his tent is up, and he sees you. I was like, oh, jeez, stands. If you want in, you're going to have to get past me. By the time you get to the last one, you just guys get there. He's not there. You stop. There's just silence, and you just hear footsteps rushing in the distance. Just, if you want in, you're gonna have to get through me.
I can't believe
this one took some work.
I can't believe Keen is the Gary Oak.
Oh, I'm just fucking imagining by the third one where Keen's not there. Vogan standing there as Keen shows up. It's like, if you want to beat me up,
Yeah.
you have to let me enter the temple.
Oh shit! What? Does that even work?
Listen, I got worried you weren't here.
She's not there. Miriam, could you send a sending spell to Keen? Could you ask him if he's all right?
Yeah. You just can you check on him? I'm worried.
I'm in the temple. There was a trap. Can you help?
Oh.
I love it. I love Keen so much.
Keen's a fun
What
character.
fucking boy.
He's fun. I like him a lot. He's such an angry boy.
Additional question for Mavogan boy.
Oh my god.
Dear Spicy Tomato Boy, you mentioned not wanting to be on you mentioned not wanting to be on equal footing with your master. Is that out of respect for her, or is it that you don't feel worthy to be called her equal? Something else, perhaps? Anyway, don't die.
Anyways, don't die. I don't think it's that he doesn't want to be on equal footing with his master. He just doesn't. He never thought he would be able to do it because he's put her on such a pedestal. But yeah, it is mainly out of like respect and not being worthy. In his mind, just because she is a godlike figure. So, yeah, I guess that's as far as his thoughts are going.
Question that I'm curious about. What do you think Vogan's reaction would be if he got into a serious fight with Elmira, be it for training or whatever motivation to make him want to actually go seriously, and you beat her?
Oh, that'd throw his world upside down. It's like, what the hell? You were probably just holding back for my sake.
Just do lame twitching on the ground.
Yeah. Come on, get up.
I want to make the next one look like an anime opening.
Yeah. You wouldn't know how to deal with that, I don't think. But
I appreciate
fun.
that as you posted the questions in the chat, Hayden and Bread have both used a heart emote on only the Sunder question.
Yep, they did.
I'll appreciate that they love the boy.
Okay. The reason that Sunder question looks the way that it does and read the way that it read was because there were at least 10 Sunder questions that were all each individual small parts of that
And
one
you just
very long
condensed
question.
Yeah, just combine them. It's fine.
There were also several questions that was like, who's a good boy?
Who's
a good boy, Sunder?
I guess I'm alright. Me? I am.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a good boy.
Who's a good boy?
Me, I guess.
Yeah, you're a good boy.
Yeah, I'm a good boy.
It's like, this is really weird.
Appreciate the reinforcement, but...
What are you, my therapist?
Oh, I love him. I love that 4
I-
wisdom boy.
I've
Oh,
always,
no.
No, 4 intelligence, I think.
I've always really appreciated that when they showed up, Hayden was just like, his voice is a combination of fucking Jonah Scott as Lego She and Nicolas Cage, and I was like, I'm cool with that interpretation. That's
I love
fine.
that. It's so good.
Oh, what a wonderful fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
This question is about a different NPC.
Oh,
Dear Logan, everyone's favorite bookworm Mary Mist was originally found in the mirror of the Crystal Queen. How did those two meet, and how did she piss off that sexy force of nature to the point where she put her inside said object?
Well, a lot of that sounds like stuff that's gonna have to come out in game. Because the party is weirdly never actually asked Mary Mist how she got where she was. They've just accepted that she was there along with the dragon, though the dragon explained why he was there. Heckin', goodness. What can I say about this so it doesn't feel like I'm just saying nothing? As for how did the two meet, I will say Mary Mist was a pupil of the Crystal Queen for a while. They were in a kind of similar way, like a vaguely similar way. They were like, Mary Mist is to the Crystal Queen as Vogan kind of is to Elmira, but in more wizardy ways. Beyond that, I can't really say a whole lot because I don't want to take it away from the game if it ever comes up, especially with interest in Mary Mist kind of ramping up as things go on. But yeah, she, I will say this, she was there effectively as a pupil, and she got put in the mirror for a combination of, she wasn't progressing at exactly the rate that the Crystal Queen wanted. She had high expectations. Fucking, I'll just say it. Heckin', whenever Raleigh, as a Zetsu, had broken in and stolen some of the Constellaquaries that the Crystal Queen had collected, as we established a long, long time ago, Mary Mist had been involved with the escape. Not that she tried to help, but she was tricked into aiding a Zetsu escape the castle, and the Crystal Queen didn't care for that. So she punished her by being like, into the mirror. Back in, gonna siphon off your life force forever. Go hang out with the dragon.
Yeah?
Crystal Queen, don't play around, man.
No, you mess with her, she kills you or sticks you in a mirror.
Yeah.
Honestly, very light punishment contextually
For
what she does.
her mirrors, they're like the normal mirror of life trapping, but they also slowly suck the life force out of you and convert it into magical energy. Effectively, everyone in there was being used as batteries for magical effects in her castle.
Again,
Yeah.
fairly light punishment for what I expect. Like, fucking... Okay, like, I know that more was at play here, but, like, a bed got broken and somebody's, like, running for their life about that. Like, I know there's more at play than that, and I'm, like, you know, kind of focusing on one thing for comedic effect. But, like, you know, like, stealing a bunch of Constellaquaries seems like a really, really big deal, and I don't know that the party necessarily did anything that bad other than break what was obvious.
They stole a Constellaquary!
Yeah, but one! They stole, like, one!
And it was the same person! Raleigh was involved again!
And, no, that was a different thing. That was the demon. We already talked about that.
To be fair, fucking Satsuma recognized that Raleigh had been controlled at that time. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but Satsuma is the reason why Izetsu got separated from Raleigh. She cursed him in such a way that Izetsu had to leave Raleigh's body soon after. Which is why Raleigh just woke up in the Strike Lands being like, I don't know where I am, because Satsumaru kind of detected what was going on. There was possession, and as part of fighting them, tried to separate the two of them. Satsumaru kind of saved Raleigh.
What a motherly thing to do.
And then next time they met, they were like, do you remember what you did? And they were like, no. It's like, ah, you're the other one. You can stay in the mirror.
Incredible.
Oh, that's so good. Speaking of things, fucking that
Nice
I wasn't
segue.
expecting to hear. Speaking of things I wasn't expecting to hear, here's a very vague question I want some fucking answers to.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Dear Logan, you absolute mad lad, you bamboozling bastard, how does it feel to have been deceiving us for so long, only to drop this huge scandal bomb on us?
Oh,
Campaign. You deceitful fuck.
so good.
Oh, please tell me what the fuck this is, because, like, I had no idea what this question was. But I left it in anyway.
It's hard to explain this without just going into the diatribe of Scandal's past, but Scandal was introduced as a villain, and then very much just played like a low-key-esque role of, you know, being a trickster, being like, I do whatever I find interesting after Murkwire stuff resolved. Scandal is now the High Lord of Summergrass, of Mott, because they had been disguised as one of the Merchant Lords for some 30-ish years. They were disguised as Vindy, and they revealed that they've been aiding the party since the start, that they've been working with High Lord Morian since before the party ever got involved, that they were only staying with Murkwire because they were using it as a way to spy on Murkwire and his operation for High Lord Morian, that before that, when their mother originally, who was a hag, who was the original person pretending to be the Merchant Lord Vindy, whenever she eventually told Scandal to take up her role as Vindy, like way back, and when it happened, Scandal immediately was like, yo, High Lord, my mother's terrible. Here's everything about her. We've been using this business as a cover for doing hag things. And here's the full extent of the things I know she does. Do you want me to, like, go get her? And High Lord Morian was like, no, just use your position to keep spying on her. This would be advantageous. So Scandal has been, for, like, longer than some of the players have been alive, characters have been alive, has been just an agent for High Lord Morian, and has been playing both sides, and arranging for the sabotage of Murkwire and whatnot through the entire campaign. And Scandal just went on a whole thing talking about how whenever they beat them originally, whenever they captured Kyverium and took them to Ridgemont and everything, that it had all been calculated moves that were meant to separate Murkwire from the family and cause distrust and so on and so forth. So basically just Scandal has been secretly the greatest ally the party's had. Oh, also they're, you know, they were Vindy, so they're the one that sponsored Vogan. They're the one that was like, hey, there's a belt of giant strength that you could go get. It's also has been fun for me because I always made sure that Vindy and Scandal were never in the same place in the tournament. That days when Scandal was fighting, Vindy would either leave before the fight started, or would not show up that day and say they were busy. And they put themselves out there. They put Scarlet Hendrix, the alias that Scandal uses. They put that out there as Vindy's adopted daughter, effectively. And that is who Vindy's, my brain's not, words aren't coming to me. Their candidate that they had put forth for High Lord. That's who that was. And she only became the High Lord because there was no other options against Diane. So, she's now in charge of the country.
Fair. That's fucking neat.
The Merchant Lords now consist of a Ganassi, 2 dragons, a Cassandria, and Edrican. And also, now that Vindy has been quote-unquote found out to be a sorceress because of some stuff that happened, they faked her death during the attack of everything that happened. They reported that she died, so that Scandal could just take her position, but as far as the public is now knows, Vindy died. But yeah, that was fun. That was a fun session.
That's neat. Dear Vogan, how do you feel about Scandal being the new High Lord? Has your opinion changed after the group told you her story and plans?
Oh man, you fucking hated her. I don't think he likes. He doesn't really like the way she does things. She's like she's a little too much for him. But after like the group would have like told her like what the hell happened after, he kind of just, as soon as she revealed herself, he's like, fuck this, and he left immediately. And then the party told him afterwards what happened. I feel like he might have a slightly better opinion of her. It's like, I still don't like the way she does things, but y'all can interact with her. I'm not gonna bother her. He has a bit more of a neutral opinion on her now.
Fucking, you want me to interact with her after I lost my 4 points of intelligence? No, thank you.
No, thank you. I'm not smart enough to deal with that.
Scandal reveals herself to be a High Lord, explains her entire plan to everybody, and like it takes like the 30 minutes needed to do it. Then Vogan just blank-faced is just like, "It's Scandal! Scandal's a High Lord!"
Scandal! Oh my god, it's Scandal!
Wait, Scarlet was Scandal the whole time?
Good old 10 intelligence spoken now.
I think if there's any rewatchability that is maybe built into Vestige, it's that I made very sure, because this is not something that I just decided was the case. This is very much something that's been the case since the start. I'm constantly laying small hints and like inconsistencies regarding Scandal trying to fuck over Murkwire and the family, and I hope if anybody rewatches Vestige that they notice a whole bunch of them. I specifically endowed her and Vindy with certain like vocal tics and patterns and things they say to create parallels. Some of the stuff with Vindy interacting with Murkwire. Also, as much as I love Scandal, obviously. Lyra's my wife, but Scandal is like the mascot of Vestige for me. I will say, I don't know if you've ever wondered this, if Vogan hates Scandal, that's fair, because when she, for example, told him to speak to everybody at the gathering that happened, that was like 80% her wanting him to step up and see where he was, and 20% her being like, he'll choke.
And then he did.
Yep. But she also got you that belt, so
It's true.
take that.
Literally
it's like
it.
It's like he's like trying not to like her after hearing all that. Just like, but damn it. He
Next
can't interact
question.
with her on a normal level, but
Few
he
people
appreciates the things she's done.
Miriam can, but he fucking had to cast Wish in front of her to get there.
He sure did. Boy, what a payoff.
Yep.
Whew.
What a good time. Speaking of that specific thing, dear Logan, can you give us a vague and ominous explanation of the effects of Miriam's wish?
The seams of the universe have come undone. What has happened no longer has. On the land away, an unsuspecting formerly dead man has awakened to find the country in disarray, his son gone. And that is all I can tell you, and that is exactly what the wish was for. Lucent is fucking... I'll say this much. Lucent is back. I'm not gonna be coy about that. Lucent... The wish, for your context, Chase, I don't know if you knew about this. I don't think we have a Chat19 since then. Nerium used one of his wishes to wish that Quintus's father would wake up alive and well in his bed the following morning. And we're now past that. That was like 4 days ago in game. He's back. Lucent, the wish functioned. He is alive and well and in good health, and the land away And the Valor-built family is currently having to deal with what would come of that. And I don't want to spoil the particulars of it, but the Lions Council sure is going to be surprised that one of their most valiant knights has risen from the dead. It also, and this is cool, this is a really cool thing that Aaron gave to Cody, in my opinion. The wish means that Quintus doesn't have to take a seat on the Lions Council immediately, which means Quintus is free to continue adventuring, like, and just outside the game, outside character stuff. I think that's the coolest thing he could have done as a player, because it opens Quintus up to be able to just be like, cool, then I have this adventure, this quest that I've, am committed to.
Oh, I have a question for you, Logan.
Oh, shit. What is this? That's not how this works.
How, did it throw you off at all? Like, did it change any grand scheme plans that you had for that part of the campaign, if we ever go there?
Obviously, I have things I expect will probably happen.
Yeah.
But my style of DMing is to really not assume any big things are going to happen, unless it's like things that are so huge that there's no way that they could be interacted with, like a meteor hits a capital city, But it opens up a lot of possibilities, and you guys have already... Okay, let's assume that the Land Away is campaign 2, just for the sake of conversation. You guys have already done a whole bunch of things that have dramatically changed the landscape when you go back there, and I can't even tell you about some of them, but it's gonna be basically an entirely different campaign than what I thought it would have been. But that does change a lot in that certain story beats I thought would happen regarding Corvus passing things on to Quintus. They're just entirely different. Quintus no longer has to come up with a reason why he would keep adventuring. Corvus no longer... Quintus has effectively proved himself to be a worthwhile knight and finished his quest without having to deal with the commitment of now I have to serve my country immediately. Beyond what he wants to do, obviously. So it's interesting. It changes the landscape. It does not change my plans. If I even could be said to have any, which I often don't. You guys could have done this campaign without bumping into Tenebros. That's how much I don't have plans.
My god.
Goodness.
Oh.
Jeez.
I wish we had gone down that route.
Oh, you didn't want to fight the big old dragon or get the belt or fucking get the Orbis or meet Keen, because those are all part of the same arc.
Ah, damn it. I wanted all those things, but I want to avoid the fucking fuck off dragon.
Speaking of fuck, dear Vogan, in a previous episode, you had said that while the emotional side of attraction and love was completely foreign to you, that you had some experience with physical stuff. What did you mean by that? Did Hellrock Army Vogan get laid? If so, with who? Lakazon, perhaps?
No, he spelled Lakazon. That looks like a Pokemon name.
Okay. So yes, he is not privy to the.
Now it looks like a Power Rangers villain.
Yeah, but yeah, he's foreign to the romance side of things. It was just mainly physical. But yeah, I'm not gonna go into like the details of that.
Sure.
Huh?
Sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I imagine that he would have gotten some, at least.
He would have
If so,
received
with
his
who?
share.
A bushel.
Yeah. If so, with who? He doesn't know their name.
He received a bushel of boink, if you will.
Yeah, a bushel, a mere bush.
A boink.
From the Pimp Daddy himself, Likazod?
No.
Perhaps? Curses. Well,
Damn
my
it.
ship has sunk the second that it formed.
Mm-hmm.
Curses.
Yeah. That's as far as I'll go with that question.
That's fine. Next question is for Logan.
Yeah.
Do you already have Art of the Other Talons done? If so, for how long, and which among the Talons is your favorite design?
Who knows, man?
All right, everybody, get your bingo cards.
Man, even if I just address the two of them that exist, okay, two answers. If we consider their dragon forms, the ladies is my favorite between the two we have. The red Talon of Tiamat is my favorite of the two designs you guys have seen.
It's real neat.
It's hard to compare the lady and Tenebros's designs, because they're, like, so different. Like, they both evoke such different moods. Like, the lady looks like a knight. They look like, and they also have the bike. Okay, them on the bike. That's my favorite design. But ignoring that, I don't know. It's so... Tenebros is just so fabulous, though.
It's true. True.
I think... I can't decide. It can't be done.
Not possible.
And clearly, of the ones I haven't gotten done, the pink Talon of Azharul is definitely going to be the heckin' secret Jolene is part of Tiamat is a Talon of Azharul Talon. Oh, spoilers here. That'll be my favorite one.
That's what a believable answer.
Well, yeah. Just wait till they show up. Ooh.
Oh boy, I can't.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I'm going to be waiting with bated breath for however long it takes, and I will not know rest until they appear.
I see. That's gonna suck
Dear
for
Logan!
you.
No, it'll be fine. I'm sure it's coming right around the corner. Dear Logan, how does someone become a knight of the royal capital? Are any of the PCs eligible?
So first of all, just for clarity, it is just referred to as the capital. It is the capital is the seat of power in Retia. It is the capital of Heaven's Jaw, this secluded island. Heckin', how does one become one of the royal knights? So effectively, you'd have to basically be at the level where you are in D&D terms. Like, you've done your campaign. You're an epic level adventurer. Like, you've slain your beasts. You don't necessarily have to, like, have saved the world or anything, but almost all of them are in some regard heroes, or they are opted in and trained by the Knights of Fianna, which is a, concept I stole from a fairly famous group. There are 4 particular knights among them who are considered to be the highest authority just on the continent, underneath the royal family itself. They have the power to, like royal knights, they have the power to wander into countries and be like, yo, the High Lord of this country? Cool. Make me tea. If you are opted in by them, if you are endorsed by them and trained by them, then you can become part of it. Otherwise, it's recognition for your pedigree and for the tasks you've done. The thing is, even going to Heaven's Jaw, even living there, basically requires you to be of noble blood. Like, there are no peasants in Heaven's Jaw. There's a working class, but even they have a lineage that would be of a higher pedigree than most people in other outside. There's no straightforward answer. It's a kind of a guild of heroes in a way, the Royal Knights.
Gotcha. You've got to be the very best.
Yes.
I can't wait for
Like, no
Royal
one
Knight Vogan.
Ever was. I mean, High Lord Leander's a bit of a warmonger, so the High Queen Leander rather is a bit of a warmonger. So I don't know how much Vogan would be about that. She's some of the previous generations were like, what if we ended the war, and then the current High Queen is like, what if we murdered the continent of Cahulas?
But what if more war?
Yeah. Retia is, in this particular age, definitely the harsher instigating side of the war.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Whew.
As for any of the PCs eligible, Quintus maybe, because the Valor Bolts actually have a historic connection back to them. The Valor Bolts, it's a bit of a weird spoiler. One of the Valor Bolts, the one that came to and settled in the Landaway and helped to start up that country, they were part of the Royal Knights, but their lineage ceased to be once they were separated from the capital for long enough.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Very fancy. In the interest of yet additional exposition,
Yes.
dear Logan,
Yes.
how's Argo feeling about his heavenly sugar mama Vestius after recent events? Is he still fine with suckling on that sweet, sweet god teat, or is he thinking about shopping for a new god?
I mean this with all due respect to anyone who sees the gods as black and white, but the way Vestius acted is not really... Most people wouldn't, like, consider it to reflect badly on Vestius. There was a world-level threat, effectively, in that Tiamat was popping up in the city. Vestius gave everybody lots of warning about what happened. High Lord Morian could have evacuated the city if they chose to. A Nephilim literally appeared and was like, hey, short-term prophecy, this is gonna happen. Vestius is a god that is associated with necessary evils and being ostracized and using magic to do things that magic shouldn't be used to do. Nobody's looking at Vestius like, oh, how unexpected that the tiefling god of magic and forbidden knowledge tried to nuke a city to kill Tiamat, a god that we consider to be evil. Like, Argo's like, no, this is par for the course. Argo, the thing is, also is a person that believes in doing what you have to and not caring about collateral damage, and while he wouldn't willingly sacrifice a city, he's like, on the scale that we're talking when it comes to things like archfiends and gods, it's like, it figures they had a super weapon and they aimed it at it, and it just involved taking down everybody around it.
Fair.
Yeah.
That's, par for the course, it's fine.
Anyone who sees gods as absolutely good, absolutely evil, or whatnot, I think is maybe misconstruing what I believe to be the gray areas that exist in the realms, but definitely the theme of the Eidolons, who are more concerned with keeping the world functioning as a concept than individual peoples or civilizations.
I mean, as much as I get that, it is a very subjective question with this one specific one of, like, it's not particularly asking, like, did Vestius do right or wrong? It's like, is Argo mad?
Yeah.
Like, what do you?
The answer's no.
That's fair.
I'm just expanding out on anyone who
I get you.
anyone who liked Vestius before probably still likes Vestius, and anyone who was like Vestius is a dick before is like, see, Vestius is a dick.
Speaking of divine beings that owe Vogan money, dear Logan, would you please tell us more about Ophiuchus? Were they ever worshipped as a god like the Pale Lady was, and what happened that they aren't an active presence in the modern world like the Eidolons? If you would talk about it. If you wouldn't talk about it, that's...
If you wouldn't talk about it, please.
Well.
Man, who knows?
I feel like you might.
I don't know. I just can't
don't know
recall any
anything?
relevant information at this time. I don't know. I'll have to watch.
Logan know anything about Ophiuchus?
I'll have to watch some of the recent episodes back, because I think some stuff came out about Ophiuchus in the last arc. But I just don't think a lot's happened in the show about that, so I just wouldn't know.
As someone who hasn't seen any of the recent episodes, what happened that were notes that you mentioned?
Well, heckin', things that they do know is that Ophiuchus was one of the primal gods, of which there are 3. That Ophiuchus was involved in a large-scale war, that the Eidolons were at one point effectively servants of the primal gods, and that there was a big old war in which the Ophiuchus forged a weapon called the Zodiac Slayer that could permanently kill gods, and that was used during this conflict on the Pale Lady. It was also found out a while back that Ophiuchus is super in hibernation because something required them to use so much of their power and authority that they had to retreat from the material plane and have just been unresponsive, and that happened long enough ago that they have faded into history and nobody even really knows their name. They were a solar knight who was depicted as a archangel-like figure with platinum and gold armor and a spear with a crystal blade, that being the Zodiac Slayer, which the players also now know the Zodiac Slayer was built to house the 12 primal gemstones that contain a small shard of the souls of the Eidolons, and that if it had all of them, it could kill gods, just straight out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's
I feel like there's pieces of a puzzle to put together with that.
yeah.
Hypothetically.
The active presence thing is something happened that required it to expend itself so much that it retreated and is no longer in the mortal world, and that none of the primal gods are really known about.
Fun. Next question, since I've done so many for Logan, back to back to back, I got some for Vogan.
Ah!
Dear Vogan, I don't think Avi ever apologized for threatening to kill you, but you made a real big deal out of Aristo not apologizing. What's up with that?
Listen, he's way more scared of Avi than he ever was of Aristo.
So it's about how much of a credible threat they
It's
might
how much
be.
he respects her. But I don't think he doesn't care as much for for that. He just kind of had a fucking vendetta against Aristo, I guess.
Just wanted to fuck with him.
Mainly that, yeah. He was more not as willing to let things go with him, I guess. So, yeah, it's you respect.
Does that
Avi
track
more.
on the whatever's fucking fun element of it? Was just holding Raleigh's feet to the fire.
It's been so long that I'm not entirely I don't entirely remember what the reasoning was.
That's
so
fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
It very well could have been like, I think it's fun to mess with Izzy.
I think the status of the people in question has a lot to do with it, like the intention behind the threats. One was very much made out of a place of, like, heckin' posturing. The other one was made out of, like, a genuine, like, hey, I'll murder you, for, like, a good reason. So I think there's just contextual differences between the two.
Yeah. Also that.
Yeah.
Also, Vogan was different at the times of each of them, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's grown as a character, I think.
Yeah.
Not in karate belt status, of course, but
Right. But also in that. He's graduated to a yellow belt.
Ew. How many pieces of electrical tape are on it to denote your rank?
The whole belt's made of electrical tape.
The whole belt's made of electrical tape, and it showed up as black electrical tape, and Vogan had to quickly act to reduce the rank of the electrical belt, tape belt. Paint it yellow.
Exactly.
Dear Vogan, do you have any siblings? And if so, what would Vogan do if he encountered any of them?
Let's see. He does not have any siblings that he's aware of, at least. Yeah, that he's aware of. But, you know, hobgoblin culture is very... It's weird. So he probably barely knew his dad, like, or his parents or anything like that. So if he does have siblings, then I don't think he's ever met them. Or if he has met them, he didn't ever recognize them. And if he ever does encounter said siblings, that'd be weird. Just like, I don't think I feel like he'd just treat them like any other, like, hobgoblin, like he did Lekazad or something. Well, maybe not as Lekazad, but like just a regular hobgoblin. It's like, oh, you were part of the hobgoblin army, probably. We just happen to be siblings. I'm still gonna kick your ass. So.
I mean, what kind of family reunion would it be if there was no ass kicking?
Right? Exactly.
Exactly.
That's a Vogan family tradition. We don't have a last name, so...
I was gonna say, what happens if your sibling shows up and is like, yes, we're from the same family, and then said the last name of your family, which you somehow just didn't know? Like, it was there, but Vogan was just never told.
Yeah. You're just Vogan. That's all you are.
We played enough of our... We used our last name too many times. This one doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Every time someone takes our last name, the power it holds becomes slightly weaker. It's divided between all that hold it.
It's like the power of the Jedi. The Sith were really onto something, I think.
I'm just gonna use that out of context, Spencer.
Clip it.
Sith were really onto something, I think.
Dear Vogan, Abby seems to have chosen violence. Fenris has faith in Lexi to make the right decision. Miriam seems okay with it. But how does Vogan feel about Lexi X Quintus? And I didn't know that was a thing, so Lexi X Quintus, go on.
Recently, to go more into context, give you a bit more context about the Lexi and Quintus thing. Quintus confessed his feelings towards Lexi one night.
The big mouse, I believe.
The big mouse, yeah, that one.
Yes.
And Lexi, having never had any sort of feelings like this, because she's not much of a person who deals in those kind of feelings, is trying to figure out how she feels about Quinn, whether they be like romantic feelings or just like we're good friends feelings. So Vogan has been sort of like talking to her as like a friend, like, okay, how do you feel about it's like trying to help her grasp her own feelings towards that whole thing. Vogan, as far as he feels about them, like as a couple, he likes both of them very much. He feels that if they're happy with each other, like if they're happier together or if they're happy with each other, just then he thinks like that's great, that's wonderful. So if they happen to work out, he'll be he's very supportive, I guess. So yeah, he doesn't like ship them per se, but like if they work out, they're just like, oh, that's great.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah. Also, be right back. I have to close my door. People are being loud.
Oh,
how dare
goddamn people!
Oh, that works out because the next question is for him.
Oh, good.
Oh, you know him?
I'm tangentially aware of him.
The one who makes NPCs with expertise? The master of fate who doesn't let the stream start too late? The players want him to show mercy, but the fans don't. He jerks the tears, creates new fears, abuses his peers, but still is held near and dear. The crit rolling, but mainly on Vogan DM himself. Logan.
I have a ramble title!
You have your own ramble title.
Finally!
Oh, at long last.
To quote a certain this online series, never before have I not known I needed something so much until I received it.
Out of all the NPCs you've made, who do you identify with most? Who is your Vestige self-insert Logan? Or at least the closest thing to it?
Ooh. Who do I identify with the most? Oh, what a dangerous and complicated question.
Oh, don't make me think about it.
Because
I'm sure that there's like aspects of many NPCs that you relate to, but not like the totality of.
Yeah, there's no Logan's character. Oh my goodness.
Who is the Logan character and why is it Scandal?
I wish. Oh my god. I wish it was Scandal and I wish it was Lyra. Like, I can only pretend to be that fun.
You both have like you both sometimes, like you and Scandal both have this like chaotic energy about you sometimes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Got that husky energy.
Who's Logan? I feel like there's an unsatisfying answer to this, which is just that I don't think there's anybody in it who I'd be like, yes, them. I'm trying to earnestly think about this, but it's like something that I feel like I can't rush to think of. Who do I maybe think the most like? But they're all dealing with things that I just are so beyond me. Who? I'm like looking through my folder of like characters, like just the ones that have gotten art. Being like, it's probably one of you guys. Oh man, I don't. If I had
Argo.
a character, well, I mean Argo's an easy answer, but I mean Argo is far more laid back than I am, just in general. I wish I could be Argo. Low-key obsessed with some things? Absolutely, I've got that trait. But I think like all my NPCs, like they have small little sparks of me in them by the grace of the fact that I have to represent them. And there's a small bit of understanding that all my NPCs would have that would ultimately reflect how I see things, which is kind of just the nature of DMing. Like, I only know what I know. But I feel like if you could take like Flint and like okay, if you make like a triangle out of Flint, Keen, and like no, Flint, Scandal, and Argo, I'm like in the middle of it, I think. Like I'm there, the extremes of me. I want to say maybe Rory, but that's just because he's kind of a little bit of a boring boy sometimes, and I think I'm a boring boy. But I know if I say that, people are gonna be like, "No, Lauren, you're not boring." I'll be like, "Fuck it, I'm just not an exciting person," is all I'm saying. That question involves
characters Captain Planet themselves together to become.
That question involves me knowing myself better than I think I do.
What a vibe.
Yeah. Journey.
There you go.
Journey. Woo!
I am also a robot.
He wants to do his job, and he's happy to do it and likes seeing others succeed, but also leave him alone, let him do his job.
Like, oh, I'm so proud of you. Leave me alone.
There's a lot of NPCs in it that I'm like, that I'd love to play them as PCs one day, but a lot of them are things that wouldn't work as PCs as well. Like, I don't know, I want to say certain answers. Like, I want to say, like, The Lady or Keen, because I know I'm more on the stoic and sometimes hard to read side, but I'm also not nearly as angry as Keen. But I guess you don't have to be exactly in a character situation for them to represent pieces of you. Oh, it's hard. It's difficult. Of all the NPCs I've made, who do I identify with the most? Maybe Elmira. Because, like, one of the things, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but one of the things that I constantly have on my mind in Nat19 and in my life in general is trying to create an environment around me that I think people can enjoy themselves in, and I want to make opportunities for people, and I think maybe her desire to make up for things that she's done and the person she's been, because, spoiler tag, I was once a not cool guy when I was a teenager. I was a teenager.
Yep.
And I was a heckin' butthead, and I've spent a lot of my life trying to make up for that and do better and learn and grow, and I feel like I've made a lot of progress, and I made a lot of amends for a lot of things I've done that I won't go into in this particular format. But, I think it's Elmira. I think Elmira's dedication to never really forgiving themselves for things they've done, but not being concerned so much with forgiveness as much as the attempt to improve the world around them, and the understanding that you can never really erase things you've done. You can only try to make things better where you have influence. I think that maybe of all the NPCs I played, that is something that is just a core thing I believe in. So Elmira. I'm gonna say Elmira.
Are you also secretly evil?
Yeah.
Of course I am.
Secretly.
I'm the loudest.
But I made that perfectly clear.
I'm the loudest lawful evil human on the planet.
It's true. Listen, it's the rules. I don't.
speaking of existential dread-like questions that make you, question everything, dear Tantia, what are your thoughts on your girlfriend being an elf, a creature that will most likely outlive you by a long shot, and your relationship will only be a small bit of their lifetime?
So Tantia would think that really sucks for Fenris, but Tantia lives in the moment and probably hasn't put a whole lot of thought into it. As long as they're enjoying their time together and, like, they're in the now, then Tantia will stay there. Like, Tantia's not going to consider it. Like, she kind of knows, as anyone that is with an elf would know, that, she's going to be not a footnote per se, but she's going to be a chapter in the book that is Fenris's life. And if things end when Tantia's life ends, or if things end heck in a month when Fenris has other things to go off and do, Tantia understands. The Iocane lives that way. Especially her. She's got a super devil-may-care way of approaching things. I think if Tantia had to sit down and properly think about it, she would be happy to be somebody who gets to influence Fenris, and would enjoy the time that they had together, but she's definitely not someone concerned with anyone's extended mortality. It's just not the kind of thing she thinks about.
I very much liked the energy that I got from the first part of the answer of like, oh, geez, that's gonna suck for Fenris when she doesn't get to bask in my fucking glory.
Yeah, right? Like,
Fuck. Sucks for her.
oh man,
I'm
it
fucking
sucks that someday
awesome.
she's gonna lose this whole situation.
Right?
Poor fucking Fenris to be cursed with such long life.
But I mean, from her perspective, they've got a lot of time left together.
Yeah, that's totally true. Heck yeah. Small side question that I wasn't really able to segue into because the tournament was so long ago. There weren't too many questions that related to it. Dear Logan, you mentioned at the start of the tournament that you had predictions for how it would unfold. How accurately did things play out compared to your predictions? Did anything the players did during the tournament surprise you?
If we're talking strictly in terms of, like, the progression of the tournament, I actually have a thing I want to grab.
Oh boy. Did you
heck.
make an expectation of how it was going to unfold, like, bracket-wise?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
I did, and I saved a screenshot of it, and I sent it to Sid, and I pinned it in my conversation with Sid early on. So I'm just going to pull that up real quick.
Heck.
So, a couple of things moved around, I think, from where they originally were. Let's see. That still happened that way. So one of the things I did not make a prediction on is I didn't know between Quintus or Miriam. I intentionally originally made no prediction as to which one of them was going to win, because there's so many things that can change. But I did put in this prediction thing. I thought Miriam, I guess, would win. I just 50-50'd it, and I was like, Miriam.
Oh shit.
It turned out to be Quintus, though. Let's see. I'm like looking at this, and I'm trying to see where there are differences. Okay. There are a couple things in the second round that I changed the brackets for based on what happened. But here, I'll share this with you guys.
Ooh.
But the ultimate conclusion of who made it to the finals and like who ended up getting to the end ended up being what I thought it would be. I think the main difference is that in round 2, originally it had been set that Scarlet and Lyra would be a team against Keen and Murkwire. But they ended up getting moved. And I think Journey was in a different place originally, and Flux kind of switched places with him. Did I have Flux in the original one? Oh no, sorry, that's not that. This is before Flux had art. That's not Journey. That's supposed to represent Flux, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Journey lost in the first round.
Yeah, he did. That art represents the art I have there represents Flux because I made this when Flux didn't have art. That's also why Vogan and Vogan Murkwire and Fenris's art all the way through this is their original design. I had originally thought that the way it was going to work out is that Fenris and Blister were going to fight in round 3, and that Tantia and the Lady were going to fight in round 3. But those ended up not. Those ended up getting moved around. Also, those were the team ones. Looking back, I'm trying to find the exact things, but overall, it happened the way I thought it would. There were some, plot changes along the way, because I can't predict everything that's going to happen in the story. If I could, it'd be boring. So a lot of, like, the narrative beats changed along the way. A lot of, like, the Flint coming in and fucking surprise entering the fight with, against Murkwire was not necessarily a planned event. Yeah, stuff like that. It was all moment to moment, but the people I thought would make it to the end made it to the end. And
Hell yeah.
I wanna just to prove this, and I can't obviously post this online, because it wouldn't mean anything, but real quick, I'm gonna grab this. I want to go to my conversation with Sid. I want to go to that pinned post. I want to go jump. And where are you? Grab this. I want to grab this with the date, because it is important to me that I prove when I posted this. There, the date is included.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. August 9th, 2020.
Was this the first one? I think this is the second one I posted to them. Let's see. I don't know if was the tournament happening at this point? I don't think so. Yeah, no, I don't think it was. I know that I had technically 2 of them. 6/8/2020. What's this? I had a second one that was before, but that was before I moved around some things, right? But yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. So, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I predicted what would happen, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Are you gonna have the bracket on screen when we discuss this?
Probably not, because my approach to editing these is to make it so I can basically just post the recording. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll... One second. I'm just gonna mark down the general time code for this, so maybe I can, like, throw that in whenever we're rendering. Because before I used to do more heavy editing on these, but then that sometimes led to them not coming out for weeks, so I was like,
yeah,
we'll deliver them in the simplest format.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Time code, let's say 120. 120. I have a bunch of pens that I don't know which ones I've used before, and sometimes they have a little tiny ball on the end of them, so I have to,
Oh, yeah.
I have to take them off, and I usually just grab them with my teeth. Alright, yeah, that's my answer to that. Sorry that was kind of a rambly, not really answer.
I'm glad that we had that we unearthed a visual representation of your predictions.
Yeah.
That was fascinating. Next question is for both of you.
Uh-oh.
Dear Logan and Vogan, a lot of smooching has gone on recently, and some interesting development has happened between a certain knight and a certain fox. But I must know, in your humble opinion, good sirs, what would be the ultimate Vestige power couple besides Fentia?
The ultimate power couple.
And this includes NPCs then, right? Because...
Sure, yes.
Because
Yeah.
if they reference Fentia, that means Tantia and Fenris are being considered.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ultimate power couple.
All right. The Crystal Queen with who?
Elmira?
Crystal Queen and Elmira is probably the answer. It's the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone jokes about it all the time.
That is the definitive answer.
And Brett is convinced it's for Brett and Carrie, and I think everyone else, but I'm not sure. They're convinced it is true. And especially when the ring came up, they're like, "Oh, they were engaged," and I'm like, I just can't. It's just, I'm not confirming or denying, but clearly I have no say in this situation. But if we ignore that one, what do you think, Spence?
What do I think?
What do you think?
Okay. Oh man. That one's just like, are we going with only canon ships? Or are we
No,
going
I
with,
think
like,
let's just any two people together.
There's
two
a
people
would-be
together, okay.
element there. You can make hypotheticals, yeah.
Okay.
I know my answer,
I mean-
but what's yours?
That one's pretty strong. Miriam and Scarlet, or like Scandal, also pretty fucking powerful. I can't think of anybody else that, like,
Mine also
I
includes
even
Scandal.
consider a ship. Like, Yeah, I think I'm going with the Scandal and Miriam.
Okay.
Like, that's pretty powerful, I think.
So mine is nonsense, and wouldn't happen. Although, weirdly, both parties would probably be down for it. They would never encounter each other in such a way that they would ask. But I'm pretty sure that Lyra and Scandal together would just conquer the planet. They would just... Nothing could stop them. That'd be it. Just... the Summergrass would become the charisma capital of the world. And everyone would just be like, no, this place seems like a good time. This is now the... Heckin', I just can't imagine, apart from, I guess
I have a shitpost pitch.
Yes.
Stradivarius x Stradivarius.
Ha! We Stradivarii!
Now smooch me. There's no one worthy to smooch Stradivarius other than a Stradivarius.
They playfully sometimes will cast a spell on themselves like haste, so that the other can just affectionately like just steal it from them and be like,
oh, what a disaster couple.
What a world.
Also,
but yeah.
on another vein, this isn't like a power couple, but you can tell that they might have dated and are now exes. Tenebros x Tenebros broke up with himself, absolutely, and now hates the other one.
To be fair, the energy you just described is exactly what people think Elmira and the Crystal Queen are. Ever since
like
they
before... Back in the days where like Elmira was, like a conqueror or whatever, like Crystal Queen and Elmira would be, oh my god,
yeah,
unstoppable.
Well, she was always she was never a conqueror, but she was, like, let's finish this war. The person who was different once upon a time was the Crystal Queen. She's changed, but you guys will eventually maybe get into that. When Elmira went to talk to the Crystal Queen, who she didn't really refer to as the Crystal Queen, she expected a very different sort of visit than, oh, you've got a blood room.
Oh, that's different.
That's cool.
I see you've made some renovations.
You've got a hobgoblin army. Oh, and an army. Let's just, I guess, start there. And you're terraforming the surrounding area into a permanent blizzard. That's neat, I guess. When did you start doing that to places? Also, vampire?
That's new.
I know I've been gone for a while by human years, but it wasn't that long by like elf years.
Did you look at the lifespan of an elf and think to yourself, no, that's just not long enough?
Listen, time is soup.
It's true.
Time is soup.
But yeah, they're the definitive answer, but I think Logan has the other one.
Yeah.
I agree. I very much agree.
Again, it's Pride Month. Where's art of that?
Yeah.
Next question is for Logan. Dear Logan, what's your favorite random fact about an NPC that the players will probably never find?
Fuck. That's one of those questions that you don't know the answer when you're asked it.
Access the database.
If it had been a month,
big fan of peaches.
If it had been a month ago, I would have been like, Scandal's got some stuff, but now everyone knows.
It could be a nonsense fact.
Okay. Who was? I'm only vaguely remembering this. Was it a gnome or a halfling that just like knew everything about everybody when they ran into them?
Oh yeah.
What's like a weird obscure thing that they might never know about that character?
Okay. What might they...
I'll try to narrow it down.
Okay. Alright. A weird...
They have a book club.
My favorite random fact about characters. Did you know?
That gnome can't have a book club because the ending is spoiled all of the time.
I guess okay, this is gonna sound weird, but I guess now that I think about it, that Lyra and Kyverium have in their careers actually bumped into each other about a dozen times at different points over the last bunch of years, and neither of them knows that. They keep being in the same place, and they also have a very particular location that is a huge part of their backstories that both of them have talked about individually, in that they both have strong ties to a place called Gilligan's Pit, which is no longer a place. It is now a crater. Well, not a crater, but it was located in a valley that is now filled basically to the brim with amniotic mist. And they both are heavily motivated by that fact. It's not like the most like cool trivia thing, but they both have massive like issues and kind of trauma relating back to that being that Lyra's teacher, her master, who she very dearly loved, was there when it happened, when geysers just opened up and amniotic mist filled the place, and Kyverium's entire family was there. Which is why he's so motivated to cure amniosis, because he lost his entire family, his wife and kids, and parents to it. So that's
Oh, sweet boy.
that's a fun thing.
That's a fun little
About
tidbit.
Gilligan's Pit.
Very different than Gilligan's Island.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if there's like another one I'm just fucking not thinking of. They're hard. Thinking of like, what's a fun random fact whenever you're just like on the spot is like,
The lungfish doesn't have lungs.
Tantia thinks the crest of Barovia on her leg is just a birthmark. And it is.
What an idiot.
And it is a birthmark.
What a fool. What a silly person to think.
And also, I don't know, I guess it's been brought up sometimes before, but Tantia has the crest of Barovia on her leg.
What?
And she was born with it.
I'm sure it means nothing.
I sense nothing from this.
Yeah,
That
man.
sounds like a coincidence.
And if you asked
Yeah.
her, she'd be like, that's always been there. It's just a really elaborate birthmark. I don't know.
Yeah. I'd like to insight check on.
Go ahead.
Next question's also for Logan.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
How do you believe the election arc would have gone had the highest standard not gotten involved in all the drama and politics, dramatics, if you will?
It depends on what had been brought to people's attention. If Murkwire had never been taken off the throne, if the highest standard had never been involved, which means that Edrigan had never been rescued, Edrigan would have been eventually removed from his ability to vote by Diane, who had sided with Murkwire at a certain point. Murkwire would have won, is what would have basically happened, is the machinations of the other side would have removed enough people from voting that they would have had a majority by one person, and Murkwire would have become the new High Lord. And would have had amniosis, and depending on if the sword was still around, if his Messite sword was, he would have been able to function normally. If his Messite sword had been broken, then the highest standard fucked off. He would have relatively gradually receded into not being able to make public appearances, and probably Vincent would have started being like, the High Lord is unavailable for comment today, I'll be standing in for him, and Vincent would have effectively taken over the seat of High Lord in all but name. Yeah, and there would have really been nothing really in place. The Scandal and High Lord Morian and Lilywind were all poised to stop that, but Lilywind would have been revealed as a dragon, either way, which would have left High Lord Morian, who couldn't vote, which would have left Vindy, Agravain, I guess just Vindy and Agravain against them, because Mogred, Vincent, Margaret and Vincent would have voted for them. And Diane would have arranged for Edragan to vote for them. And that would have been basically the whole thing. Yeah, so Murkwire would have won.
That sounds not great.
It wouldn't be the worst thing in the universe. Like, it's not like he was planning to murder everybody in the city, but it would have put some people in a position that they could abuse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the election part of that arc, dear Logan, if possible, could you tell us Diane's thought process as things started to fall apart around her? Did she actually believe she could win the election, or was she just stalling, hoping that a miracle would happen?
Well, if they hadn't gone and rescued Edragan, she would have won.
That's fair.
So, yes, she thought that she would win. Because obviously she didn't expect anyone to... She didn't expect Margaret to get outed at the last second, and she did not expect Edragan to come back. Given those two facts, she was set to win. It is not unfair to say that there was definitely some political interference going on in that, you know, some people were stabbing some people, and some people were operating behind the backs of others, and the High Lord was definitely acting against the process and trying to rig things against Diane, for good reason. But she effectively, right up until just before the last day, she definitely would have assumed she was going to win, because she was going to. It was made relatively clear just before the last day that she was not going to. That's why Tenebros was like, hey, I would find it fun to watch everything fall apart. Here's some information I got about some stuff that's out in the Skywall. You're about to be revealed as what you are as a member of the family. So, if you want to have any power left in the world, you should go take care of this. It'd be fun to see you find whatever this is. And then Diane was like, you're right! They're definitely tomorrow gonna reveal me to be one of the godchildren of the family. And I don't have a guaranteed out from that. So they took their forces and they left. It wasn't like panic. It was a better option presented itself, and if they wanted to retain their position, they would have to do something so monumental and make some kind of large enough discovery that the family would be like, cool, we'll at least protect you. So that's what they're currently heading towards, is trying to find whatever was in those notes that originally came from Flux's master that Tenebros had stolen. But their appraisal of the situation was interesting. Originally they were on Murkwire's side, then things fell apart, then they turned against Murkwire, and then as soon as it became clear the highest standard wasn't going to have a whole lot of influence, they flopped back to Murkwire, and when they realized Edragan was going to be taken out of the running no matter what, because originally they wanted Edragan to win so that they could stand beside Edragan. Then they just kept going to whatever seemed like the right decision, which was basically either Murkwire or themselves.
Gotcha. That's a lot of flopping.
It was a lot of flopping, but it was all
Fair amount.
motivated by circumstance. And then when it became evident that nothing was going to work, instead of panicking, they made other plans, and they're heading towards the last option that they have.
I have 3 questions remaining of all of them that was submitted. Third to last question. Dear Logan!
Okay.
Avi has brought up...
So many Logan questions.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I don't have control over that.
I'll just sit back, it's fine.
I got one more for you in here. You just wait your turn, Mr. Man.
Oh, okay.
Dear Logan!
Ah,
Avi has brought up a number of times how hard Rory had to work to get his job on the Platinum Watch. Can you go into detail about that?
there's not a lot specifically to go into. He was born... Well, I mean, his brother wasn't already the captain of the Platinum Watch when he was born, but when he was young, they both worked to become part of it. His brother joined it first and was a celebrated knight. Or not knight, but a celebrated member of the guard. He looked up to him. So when he was young, he initially fought to be part of, like, and trained to be part of the Iron Watch, and then because he was someone who lived in the Platinum District and whatnot, he eventually proved his mettle and could qualify for being a member of the Platinum Watch. It's not that he, like, had to overcome certain trials, it's that among those in the Platinum Watch, he has worked absurdly hard during his life to, like, leave the best possible impression and be as by the book as possible, because he wants to live up to the legacy that his brother is kind of leaving in front of him and doesn't want to live in his brother's shadow, even though, because he's using his brother as the model for what a good member of the Platinum Watch is, he's kind of steering straight into his shadow without realizing it. But yeah, it's just he's, you know, valiant. He's very by the book. He tries to see things as he doesn't see things as black and white because he's always known Avi, and that's meant that he's never been able to just dismiss somebody as, you know, you are in the wrong. But yeah, he tries to be what he expects all other guards in the city to be.
So what exactly was the process to qualify for the Platinum Watch? Just be good boy, be strong and fast?
Be a good boy, be strong and fast, be good at guard duty, train for guard things. He would have been in the Iron Watch for a while, and then eventually he would have applied to guard it. There has to be some kind of in with nobility to be a member of the Platinum Watch, because you will be guarding the nobles part of the city. So he effectively had to be sponsored by, and he had to be confirmed by members of the Platinum District, who effectively be like, yes, we approve him as someone we want protecting our neighborhood. But he got in relatively easily, since he himself is a resident of the Platinum District. So and also his brother was like, or how about, let's bring this boy in, the brother boy of mine. It wasn't like that direct. He went through the right channels, but ultimately it's like, it's be the best of the best guards, then you can be in the Platinum Watch.
That makes sense. That's as heckin' neat. And now we move on to the second to last question.
Is it for Vogan?
Which is for Vogan.
Thank God.
Finally. At long last.
I was started this being like, once every 4 months I get to be here. By the end, oh Jesus. Fuck.
Might get to be once every 5 months.
You know, I guess technically we all only get in once every 4 months, so it's not really a distinction.
Yeah.
Generally fair. I feel like I might be an exception to that.
Yes.
But I get what you're getting at.
No.
Second to last question. Dear Vogan, you've recently given a very special gift to our marvelous mute Mary Mist. What are your thoughts on her as a person after you got to spend time with her and take part in her hobbies together? Have your feelings towards her changed at all? Would you ever turn her into married Mist?
Oh shit.
Oh my God. He went into this a bit in the last episode, where when he was talking to Lexi about her feelings, she was like, "Oh, so how do you feel about Mary Mist?" He's like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Well, you've been spending some time with her, whatever." He's like, "Do you like her?" And he's like, "Wait, do I?" Like he hasn't thought about it at all. It's like what? But I think but later he's like, I think he does. Like I think he does like her. He's starting to appreciate her more. Like Lexi brought up, is like, well, you didn't get any other gifts for other people. It's like, what do you mean? I'm getting Avi a big toe from a giant. It's like, that's different.
Gross.
It's like, oh crap, you're right. So currently he's thinking about that as a potential thing, but now he's never thought about like, nah, nobody would like me. I'm a piece of doo-doo. And why would anybody like me? So he hasn't really put a ton of thought into it. So
for my reference and anyone's reference who hasn't seen that episode, what was the gift?
So Mary Mist lost a particular novel that she's been reading. It's like I guess a Twilight equivalent.
How dare you! It's definitely not Harry Potter.
Oh, okay. Okay, definitely not Harry Potter.
Yep, Mary
But when
Potter.
the drow burned down their house, the book she was reading was damaged. So Vogan noticed which book it was, and then bought her the entire series of books.
Aw.
Yeah, he
That's
went to a
nice.
bookstore and everything. Just, I think she was on like the 5th novel, in the series or something like that. But he just bought her the entire series because it was I think it was a deal or something. But then she gave him the first book. And she wanted him to read it, so he's been doing that.
Aw,
So, yeah.
that's
And also
wonderful.
and Mary Miss takes care of Mini Myra. So,
Mm,
yeah.
that's
It's been it's been good times. They've been getting along very well. And she's been super, super cute, and I'm fucking dying every time she does anything.
Good, yes.
Good, yes, good.
So,
The Chronicles of Cornea.
question.
There you go.
I had to pull my boy. I found it.
The eyeball book. The Chronicles of Your Cornea.
Chronicles of Cornea. The first one's called The Gates of Voltra, and the one that she's on is The Half-Blooded Blade, the 5th one in the series.
Wonderful.
It's about a half-elf. It's about a half-elf who realizes that there's more out there for him and wants to become a knight, but he didn't realize that the home that he always wanted was always at his home, and and he's got a talking sword.
Woo!
Yep.
The half-elf prince indeed. Question that I have generally: does Mary Mist have a last name?
Nope.
No.
So you both have mononyms.
I guess so.
I guess if they marry, they just have to exchange, like syllables. So Vogan would become, like, Vomist, and Mary Mist would become Marygun.
Mary Gun. Yeah. They become their ship name.
Mary Gun indeed.
I dig it.
I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Final question of this episode of Chat19 is for Logan.
Oh,
Dear Logan, of everything that's happened so far in Vestige, what has been the moment that made you worry the most for the players?
Whenever they were in the Crystal Queen's castle, and Lexi and Quintus were directly interacting with the Crystal Queen, and I kept being like, I'm not gonna save them. If something goes wrong and she realizes they're not supposed to be there, like, she's gonna act on it. But yeah, that's probably the most worried I've ever been, because I was like, at the level we're at, I mean, they could get away maybe, but that would involve giving up on the whole gosh darn mission. There's no way they're gonna be able to fight the Crystal Queen on her own turf.
I'm sure everything will be fine.
That whole like 2-session jaunt was, as a DM, I
We
was
could
very
have
like,
taken her.
it was a very, oh man, this is finding
Oh,
the
this is bad.
this is finding the end game dungeon early. I'm worried.
Oh boy. This is a non-combat dungeon now. Any combat is guaranteed death. Love it. That's yeah, I get that being a very dangerous situation. I mean, I'm sure Subsumaru is, at least level 5. That would have been very intimidating.
Totally.
Yeah, bare minimum.
Yeah, man.
Oh. With that, that's all the questions that we had time for here, but there is still time yet for the game with the highest stakes ever conceived. 4 of the questions that were submitted today were submitted by your fellow players on Nat19.
4 of
God.
all of them?
Yes.
Ah!
And extra fun little tidbit, there's only 1 question per person that submitted them this time.
Oh, cool.
Each question's by a different person for this particular episode.
Oh, that's neat.
So, I don't know if Logan, are you gonna get favor if you get it right? Or does an NPC?
Okay,
How does
here's
that
what
work?
we should do.
Yes.
Spencer, you choose, and you try to guess your 3, I assume, with how many guesses it gives you. I will then take a similar amount of guesses afterwards, so that I don't accidentally steal any chances from you.
Okay.
What happens if you guess right, Logan?
If I guess right, then Sunder gets favor.
Oh, shoot.
Hell yeah. Oh.
Logan, you
I win
can't
either
miss
way.
any guesses. You cannot miss. You can't miss, Logan. It's not okay. He needs that favor. He's a good boy.
He is a good
He's
boy.
a good boy.
Okay. Normally, I think I would give you each as many guesses as there are questions. So I think I would give Spencer four attempts,
Okay.
Okay.
and then Logan 4 after.
Okay.
Spencer, rapid fire 4 in a row. Go for it.
4 in a row. Okay. Oh, I don't get to find out which ones are not.
I'll give you a little breaks, let you know if your
Okay, cool.
pick was correct.
Okay. Oh no.
I have no confidence that
I'm so bad at this game. I'm gonna guess.
You get one fewer guesses than you drew cards from the deck of many things.
That's fair. I'm gonna guess, dear Vogan, I don't think Avi ever apologized for threatening to kill you, but you made a big deal out of Arista not apologizing. What's up with that?
That question was not submitted by one of your fellow players, giving Sunder yet another chance to get the favor that I now am very, very one-sidedly about him getting.
Okay.
Let's see. Spencer.
Okay. Oh, jeez. Dear Logan, how does someone become a knight of the royal capital?
Are there any PCs eligible? That question, dear Logan,
Yeah.
how does someone become a knight of the royal capital? That question was also not submitted by one of your fellow
All right.
players on Nat19.
Re indeed. I'm the worst at this game. I fucking. Okay.
Who guesses remains?
Okay.
Do
Do what do indeed.
you what to do?
Okay. I'm gonna say.
Say it.
I don't know. I'm still reading through them.
There's a lot of them.
There's so many of them.
We did get triple digits questions just from
Yeah.
fans, and then additionally got submissions from players. But I don't know what you mean. There's a totally reasonable amount of questions.
Fuck. Okay, dear Vogan, how would you feel if Keen joined the high standard? Oh wait, no, not that one, not that one.
Okay.
No. Vogan is misspelt, and also highest. It's called highest standards. I feel like that's. I don't think any of the players would do that. Okay.
Using meta-analysis, I see.
Yes, I am. Dear Vogan, you gross bitch, how does it feel hogging on the levels to yourself, you XP whore?
That question was additionally not submitted by
Oh,
one of your
that
fellow players.
felt like a carry
But
question.
It really does
Yeah.
feel like
Oh.
a carry question.
I was looking at that one too.
Crap. Okay, last one.
I have faith in you.
Yes,
You should.
you can do it.
Getting this last
I've
one
always-
right is your fate, Apocrypha.
I love that one. Okay. I'm gonna say, dear Logan and Vogan, a lot of smooching has gone on recently. Some interesting development has happened. Who's the best power couple, essentially?
For your final guess on this episode of Chat19,
Yeah.
that question was not submitted by one of your fellow players.
I hate this game.
Oh, well, I mean, statistically, you're at a disadvantage. Like, there's
Yeah.
so many questions.
Ugh.
All right.
Thunder is now poised to steal all of the favor.
Okay, let's see if I can
That's
do
fine.
this.
Sniff it out with your good boy nose, Thunder.
Okay. First, dear Tantia, what are your thoughts on your girlfriend being an elf, a creature that will most likely outlive you by a long shot, and your relationship will only be a small bit of their lifetime? Is that one a player?
That question was not a player.
Yeah.
The fans are guessing what the players would say.
No!
I was also looking at that one.
Ah,
With their powerful
thought that might be a
mind.
Hayden or Bread question.
I was also thinking that.
Okay.
I will give you one hint. The question, Dear Vogan, does Logan owe you money, was written by me.
Okay. I was definitely not going to guess that one.
I was not either.
Okay. Okay. Dear Logan, Aviana has brought up a number of times how hard Rory had to work to get his job in the Platinum Watch. Can you go into detail about that?
This question was also not submitted by one of the players
damn.
on Nat19!
We're so bad at this, Logan.
Damn,
There
I
are,
couldn't even scratch him.
There are 2 attempts left before you have a perfect failure between the two of you.
I don't want to ruin our perfect failure.
Your absolute failure could yet be avoided if you guess even one correctly.
Dear Logan, how's Argo feeling about his heavenly sugar mama Vestius after recent events? Also, Vestius is spelled wrong there. For clarity, people, it's an A at the end. Vestias, not
You're an A.
Vestius.
You're an
Is he still fine with suckling on the sweet, sweet god teat, or is he thinking about going shopping for a new god?
That question, for your second to last attempt, was also not submitted by one of your fellow players.
We're so bad!
You're threading the needle! Both of
Okay,
you!
Spencer, remind me, did you ask about the Knight of the Royal Capital one? Was that one of yours?
I did.
Okay. I thought you did. I have...
Right?
I have to do this. No! I see it! I had to get hit a few times, but I can see his movements now. Dear Logan, can you give us a vague and ominous explanation of the effects of Miriam's wish? I know with 100% certainty that's a player question. I know it.
Dear Logan, can you give us a vague and ominous explanation on the effects of Miriam's wish? As your final, I've predicted their movements yet been hit many times by them, guess. Was not submitted by one of your...
No!
15.
We're so bad at this.
Smash cut dispenser being like, I win either way.
In an extended
Yeah.
fight, I change up my stance regularly, so others can't keep up with my footwork. The me that you saw through stopped being your opponent 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
This anime diatribe was delivered by Izzy, Hayden, Bread, and Carrie.
That's what Izzy
His
sounds like.
question.
That's Izzy. We all know that's what Izzy talks like.
Spot on Izzy impression.
All right, which one
yeah.
were they? Which ones were the
Yes.
ones? Let's do this.
Dear Vogan, how do you feel about Scandal being the new High Lord? Has your opinion changed after the group told you her
Of
story and
course,
plans?
that's a player.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Who is
That was
it?
the Iz boy.
Knew it. The moment you started,
Makes
I was like,
sense.
that's Izzy. All
The
right.
next question that was submitted by a player. Dear Spicy Tomato Boy, you mentioned not wanting to be on equal footing with your master. Is this out of respect for her?
I was
or-
looking at that one.
I was also looking at that
But I
one,
was like, I don't know,
Like, it's too specific to the
It's
last
too
session.
new.
Like,
But that's exactly why I also thought it might be.
yeah.
It was Hayden.
Oh, of course it was. Because I was like, none of the players were watching in theory, but of course Hayden was. Hayden was there.
Yeah. Hayden was always there.
They saw through our footwork.
Oh no. Our poor
Next up,
footwork.
there is Dear Logan. What is your favorite random fact about an
No!
players?
All the ones I was like, no, it's a trap.
Yeah, I also was thinking that.
That
We were
question-
one step away the entire time.
If only your footwork had not been seen.
Wait. Let me guess who that was. Was. The remaining ones were they Aaron and Bread? No, Carrie and Bread.
Mm-hmm.
Random fact?
Bread.
Bread.
Bread. Yes,
Bread.
that was-
Yeah.
No points for it, but you guessed that part
Yep.
right.
No,
Yeah.
they got one.
Next
Ooh.
up, there is the final one. Dear Vogan, Avi seems to have chosen violence. Fenris has faith in Lexi to make the right decision. Miriam seems okay with it, but how does Vogan feel about Lexi?
Oh, of course that's
So-
Carrie.
By Carrie.
They all
Damn.
seem so obvious when you just say the answer.
Yeah. I was the least close to guessing that one though.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one.
Yeah, I know.
Hidden in
Oh.
plain sight.
In
Oh.
plain sight.
Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of Chat19, episode 14, aka
Damn.
Logan Vogan.
Logan.
Thank you guys so very, very much for submitting all of these amazing questions.
You're welcome.
The next episode, not you, the next episode. The next episode will feature Avi and Quintus.
Nice.
Oh,
On
hooray.
June 28th. This is gonna be a good time.
Wow, that's amazing.
Check in the video description or on our Twitch page to find the form to submit your questions for a chance to have them answered by one of the boys on the show. Oh, thank you guys so much for showing up. This one is you. Thank you guys so much for showing up and answering all these questions. Appreciate it.
That was very nice. I'm excited to be back in 4 months. Spoiler tag. I'll be here with Bread.
Woo!
Ew.
That's gonna be good. It's not for a little
Ew.
while. We got Avi.
I'll be
Quinn.
here eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also true.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, in that
Oh.
case.
Yeah. Before we head out, where can people find either of you? Logan, go.
Here.
Woo!
You
Thanks
can
for
and
going.
on the Project Mouthwash channel, and also in some game stuff that I'll be announcing that might be coming out relatively soon, which I'm excited about. Woo!
Hell yeah.
Video games. Woo!
Woo. I like those.
Yeah.
You can find me, let's see. I stream every Monday, on the Nat19 official Twitch. Carrie Aaron and I usually just play some games. That day we usually play like Monster Camp or like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or some stuff like that. So yeah. I also do. I mean, find me playing Vestige or the Thursday games.
Or Swee&D.
You can also. I also do. Am the DM for Swee&D on every other Friday on the Something Witty Twitch channel.
Woo!
So
Heck yeah.
yeah.
All very fun things. Go check out all of those things. Even the things that haven't come out yet. Check them out. Maybe they'll be out when you hear this recording. I believe in you.
It's very possible.
Woo! Thanks guys so much. Submit those questions if you want to submit them. And we will
Very
see
welcome.
you guys next time, not you, on Chat19.
Goodbye.
And with one great thunderous exiting